Chapter 15 in your dental assisting or in your administrative dental assistant textbook talks about dental insurance processing. And this starts on page 220 of that book. So going over some learning objectives, we'll classify and identify the various types of insurance. We'll identify the different methods of filing insurance claims and discuss the responsibility of the administrative assistant in filing those claims. We'll list the types of insurance information covered to determine insurance coverage. We'll identify the two ways that insurance payments can be made and discuss payment tracking. We'll demonstrate how to complete a dental claim form. We'll discuss the purpose of insurance coding and differentiate between categories. And we'll also describe fraudulent insurance billing, including Part 5B of the ADA Code of Ethics, and identify how it applies to the administrative assistant. So the dental benefits are determined by the type of dental insurance policy and the extent of the coverage. Insurance plans can be divided into several very broad categories. These categories are based on the types of coverage and the methods by which the dental office is paid. So first we have what is called fee for service. And fee for service is a method of payment that compensates dentists according to individual services and procedures. Reimbursement is determined by established fee schedules. Dental insurance companies establish fee schedules on the basis of a variety of information. The fee schedules and usual, customary, and reasonable plans, or UCR plans, are based on the following criteria. Usual fee is the fee the dentist uses most often for a given dental service. Customary fee is the fee determined by the third-party administrator from actual fees submitted for specific dental services. And a reasonable fee is a determination by the third-party administrator that a particular service for a given procedure has been modified to take into consideration unusual complications. The table of allowances or schedule of allowances and indemnity schedules are lists of procedures covered by an insurance company and their respective dollar amounts. A fixed fee schedule includes pre-established fees that are charged by all dentists regardless of geographical area. We also have capitation programs, which are programs in which the dental practice is paid a set amount for each patient who is enrolled in the program. Closed panel programs are programs that dictate to patients where they can receive their dental treatment. Franchise dentistry is a method that allows a corporation to own several dental practices. Direct reimbursement is a method of payment that bypasses an insurance company and pays fees directly from a fund established by an employer. So what must an administrative dental assistant be able to do before successfully processing a dental claim form? Well, he or she must understand the types of dental insurances covered, and he or she must understand the types of dental insurance coverages available, insurance terminology, and how to correctly code the dental procedures. The parties to an insurance contract include the carrier, which is the insurance company, the purchaser of the insurance, which is the group, which is in most cases the employer, and the subscriber, which is the individual or the employee. The preferred provider organization, or PPO, is a plan that establishes a list of dentists who have a contract with the insurance company. A health maintenance organization, or HMO, accepts responsibility for payment of dental procedures and services for its members. Managed care is a program that is designed to contain the costs of dental procedures and services. This is accomplished by restricting the types of frequencies of procedures and services, pre-establishing where a patient may seek dental care, and controlling fee schedules. The Individual Practice Association, or IPA, is an organization that has been legally established by a group of dentists to enter into third-party contracts. So the objective of this type of association is to work together to secure third-party contracts. The IPA usually consists of a small staff and an administrator. Union trust funds administer the distribution of the members' benefits. They are not insurance companies and are not mandated to follow the same rules as insurance companies. They usually establish their own fee schedules that outline the amount of money paid for each procedure. Other types of dental coverage include secondary coverage. This occurs when, let's say, a husband and wife both have insurance coverage, and the spouse is included in the policy. The person who is a patient is a primary carrier, and the spouse is a secondary carrier. Government assistance programs are administered by the US government and by the state local governments. Workers' compensation programs cover employees who sustain dental injuries while working, and these cases require special handling and authorization to make sure that that workers' compensation claim is covered. Similar to workers' compensation cases involving auto accidents and auto insurance must be handled according to specific procedures. These must be determined before any treatment is provided. Some claims can be processed through medical insurance instead of dental insurance. This is the case with other accident coverage. So with these, you want to be sure that you understand all procedures involved before the treatment has started. With insurance claim processing, because of the large number of dental claims processed by dental practices, it has become a full-time job to work with insurance claims. When a patient arrives for the first time, it is a task of the administrative dental assistant to determine the insurance coverage. A process should be developed to help the assistant gather all the necessary information quickly and efficiently. And this includes collecting the necessary information and determining benefits, determining the maximum coverage that's allowable for that patient's policy, determining if there's any deductibles that need to be met before eligibility of that specific insurance policy, co-payment, or excuse me, percentage of payment. So if insurance policy, well, not all insurance policies cover treatments at 100%. For example, some insurance policies cover 80%, leaving the patient with a 20% payment. And that payment is known as a co-payment, which is a portion of the fee that the patient is responsible to pay. With limitation of coverage, most companies establish a limitation of coverage. They will pay for basic dental services, but any work that is considered more than basic is limited or not a covered benefit. For example, if a patient wants to have a porcelain crown placed on a posterior teeth, an insurance company may determine that the teeth can be restored with a metal crown. Their thought is that the use of porcelain crowns on posterior teeth is cosmetic and unnecessary. Sometimes the administrative assistant will have to determine eligibility by contacting the insurance carrier and asking for verification. Most insurance providers and third-party services have the capability of providing the information electronically and in real time, just to make sure that you're using the patient's time adequately and you're as efficient as possible. When a treatment exceeds a specific dollar amount, or if there's any question about the amount of coverage, it's wise to submit a pre-treatment form, also known as a pre-authorization form. Once the pre-treatment approval has been obtained, a financial plan can be established between the patient and the dentist. Electronically submitted forms contain the same information as a paper dental form, except that they are mailed via an electronic transfer. Many of the practice management systems provide the capability of processing insurance claim forms electronically. Application service providers are web-based practice management software applications that allow the dental practice to run various applications from one hosted system. E-claims service providers are companies that provide standalone electronic claim solutions. These companies act as a clearinghouse to process dental claims, check on patient eligibility and benefits, and provide claim status. E-claim service providers, well, in addition to e-claim service providers, we also have paper dental claim forms, which are generated by computer and printed in the office, or they are typewritten by the administrative dental assistant and sent from the dental office to the correct carrier via mail. Again, most offices don't have typewriters. I don't think I've ever even seen a typewriter before. So they'll type, when they say typewritten there, they just mean they're typed and then they're printed out. Super bills and encounter forms are used to communicate the same type of information contained on a dental insurance claim form. Each super bill or encounter form contains patient information, subscriber information, billing dentist information, and signatures for assignments of benefits and release of information. The purpose of the super bill is to consolidate several different functions of the business office onto one single form. Insurance payments can be made in one of two ways. The dental office can enroll in an automatic deposit, but this service, when available, processes claims and deposits the payment as quickly as a few minutes or up to a maximum of a day or two. When checks are sent to the dental office in the form of a voucher, they are attached to an EOB form. EOB form, or EOB, just stands for an explanation of benefits. EOBs identify the name of the patient and the group number or other identification number. Depending on the type of insurance and stipulations outlined in an insurance contract, the EOB may contain an adjustment of any fee charge that was over the allowed amount. Normally, the EOB is self-explanatory regarding the breakdown of payment. The total fee is listed, including the amount that the insurance company pays and the amount that the patient must pay. Once the payment has been received, checked, and posted, the final step in the tracking system is completed. The objective of an insurance tracking system is to monitor the status of the insurance claims. So some of the steps that we can use in tracking these systems manually is to, one, place a copy of the dental claim form in a file for the month in which the claim was generated. When payment is received, the copy of the claim form is pulled from the file and stapled to the explanation of benefits, or the EOB. After 1 month, review any remaining claim forms for that month. If necessary, track the claim and determine why it has not been paid. Place all claims in a file for the month in which the claim is paid, and we want to do this in a chronological order. Some helpful hints to manage insurance processing includes knowing the details for each insurance group, such as coverage, deductibles, limitations, and special handling instructions. Know the details of the contract with insurance companies for preferred provider organizations, which are PPOs, and health maintenance organizations, which are HMOs. Use the appropriate fee schedule for each company, so make sure that the patient is charged the same fee that is submitted to the insurance company. Check each claim for accuracy. Procedures that are not listed will not be paid. If information is missing or the claim is not sent to the correct address, the payment will be delayed. Also, develop a tracking system. Computer software programs will include functions to track the insurance billing from the time the claim is generated to the time that it's paid. We also want to work with these tracking systems to follow up on any unpaid claims, and use a tracking system to identify work that has been authorized but is not completed. So that's useful if we want to get patients in that happen to have pre-authorized work and is ready to go. Just a continuation of that, bill patients on receiving insurance claims, and keep no copies of dental claim forms and clinical records. Instead, the copies of these forms and explanation of benefits should be kept in a separate file. So there are two basic ways to file a dental claim form. The first is to mail the form, which is a paper copy, directly to the insurance company. And the second is to send the form electronically. Just a few do's and don'ts when completing a dental claim form. You do want to use a laser printer with black ink if you're not transmitting these documents electronically. Laser printers are least likely to smear or smudge. Also, a 10-point font and all capital letters should be used. Also, use digit dates with no spaces, slashes, or dashes. For example, if you want to denote the date for May 16th, 2016, you would simply type in 05162016. Again, no spaces or slashes. Do use a standard size paper for claims and written documentation. So make sure it's 8.5 by 11 size paper. Do use these with decimal points. For example, if you're denoting a payment for $200, write in $200.00 to make sure that you're denoting that there is no cents to be paid. You want to do this instead of just simply writing the number 200. Don't use free form text, which is text that is not applicable to the data field. For example, writing the name of the tooth instead of the number or letter of the tooth. So don't write the second premolar. Instead, type something or write something like tooth number 13 or something like that. Don't use ditto marks or arrows to indicate duplicate information. Don't use stray marks and spaces that should be left blank. Don't use lines outside of boxes or writing on top of lines. Don't use any correction fluid like whiteout or a highlighter pen. And don't use more than one font style on a claim. On page 232 of your textbook, there is a copy of the ADA claim form. The ADA claim form was significantly revised in 2012, although the copy that you see in 232 was revised in 2018. Pages 234 through 239 break down that claim form into its several parts. Just going through those parts. Part 1 and 2 includes the header information. The insurance company or dental benefit plan information is part 3. Other coverage information can be found on parts 4 through 11. The policyholder or subscriber information are parts 12 through 17. Patient information is included from 18 to 23. Records of services provided are parts 24 through 35. Authorization includes part 36 and 37. Any ancillary claims or treatment information can be found on parts 38 through 47. The billing dentist or dental entity can be found on parts 48 through 52 and 52A. And the treating dentist and treatment location information are parts 53 through 58. Some steps that you want to follow in processing a dental claim form include, number 1, obtain information from the patient. 2, verify coverage by contacting the insurance carrier, consulting on insurance information services, or using information in the practice management system. 3, discuss the coverage with the patient and determine the patient's portion. 4, complete the dental claim form. 5, include documentation such as radiographs, oral images, models or pocket measurements as requested by the insurance company. 6, record the patient's clinical record, the date on which the claim was submitted, and the treatment included. 7, record the information in a tracking system. 8, post insurance payments and bill the patient for the balance. 9, record the patient in your tracking system. And 10, follow up on any unpaid claims within 30 days of submission. The current dental terminology, which is CDT 2020, it is no longer CDT 2019, is published by the ADA and is recognized by the federal government as a standard for reporting dental services in compliance with HIPAA. The CDT 2020 is cross-referenced so it's easy to locate a procedure numerically by the procedure code or alphabetically by a procedure nomenclature, in addition to the full description of the procedure code and nomenclature. The first section of the manual contains the code on the dental procedures and nomenclature, which is the code. This section of the manual divides procedure codes into 12 categories. And these categories can be found on page 230, which is on table 15-1. And it just kind of goes through all the different categories that are included in the CDT codes. So here is a list of the 12 different CDT categories that codes can be listed under. They start with diagnostic, they include preventative, restorative, endo, perio, prosthodontics, and they go all the way down to adjunctive general services, which might be used like things that include things like fluoride or whitening paste or any adjunctive general services, almost like a junk drawer of services. The procedure codes are identified first by a 5-digit alphanumeric code. The first digit will be a D, which identifies a dental code. The second digit describes the type of category, which would be any of these 12 categories here. And the remaining digits describe the nature of the procedure code or service. Okay, so now let's talk about SNODENT and ICD. So the systemized nomenclature of dentistry, SNODENT, is combined with the systemized nomenclature of medical conditions, which is SNOMED. These are used to define dental diseases in an electronic environment. The International Classification of Diseases, or ICD, is a set of codes used worldwide to classify medical diagnoses and inpatient procedures. ICD codes are primarily used for patient health records, provider reimbursement, and public health reporting and monitoring. The documentation needed for insurance processing. So with this, most claims that are submitted will not need documentation. But for some procedures, supporting documentation such as x-rays, charts, narrative reports, or dental provider taxonomy help the insurance provider to determine whether treatment is covered and under the patient's benefit plan. No matter what the intention, when false information is given on a dental claim form, it becomes a concern for the dentist, the insurance carrier, and the patient. When a dental practice participates in a state or federally funded program, it may be necessary to complete a fraud, waste, and abuse training no later than December 31st of each year. The ADA addresses this issue in Section 5B of its Principles of Ethics and Code of Professional Conduct, with official advisory opinions revised to April of 2012. So with 5B, this talks about the representation of fees. And it says that dentists shall not represent the fees being charged for providing care in a false or misleading manner. 5B1 covers the waiver of copayment. So with this, a waiver of copayment means that the dentist does not intend to collect the patient portion of payment. Technically, it is a form of overbilling the insurance company. An overbilling dentist makes it appear to the third party that the charge to the patient for services rendered is higher than it actually is. Um, Treatment dates are also important. A dentist who submits a claim form to a third party reporting incorrect treatment dates for the purposes of assisting a patient is engaged in making an unethical, false, or misleading representation to such third party. With dental procedures, a dentist who incorrectly describes a dental procedure in order to receive a greater payment is engaged in making an unethical, false, or misleading representation. A dentist who recommends and performs unnecessary dental services or procedures is also engaged in unethical conduct. That's everything that I have for chapter 15. Please let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for listening.